Okay. Hi everybody, this is Michelle, the cookie mom from the troop, and I just wanted to give you some information about cookie sales this year since we're not going to really have time to meet. That way you have a little bit of a walkthrough of everything you're going to be getting and a preview of all the things you can expect and at what time. So everyone's going to be getting a packet that looks like this. It's either going to be white or yellow. And this is what you're going to see inside your packet. So first I'll just go through everything that's in here, and then I'll go into more detail on each thing as I go through. The first thing is this yellow form, and this is just information on the cookie sales. There are some important dates here just to solidify everything that I'm giving you. There's also, and this is super important, there's a permission form right here, and this is very important. I have to get this from you early. I know it's hard to make the trip and drop things off in my mailbox, so what you can do is, if you can just fill it out, take a picture of it, and text it to me, either DM me on Facebook, or you can just send me a text message. I'll give you my phone number if you don't have it. That'll be good for now, because these are really supposed to be in before sales start on the 18th. I'll remind everybody with text messages and everything, and then the next time, the girls are at a meeting, you could bring the actual tangible version, but as long as I have a picture of it, that should be good for now. So this is just the formality. It has to be written permission from parents to say that you understand the rules, the safety issues, and everything before you start sales. We've done it before. So it's this yellow sheet. So make sure you fill that in, and you send me a picture of the signed permission slip by Wednesday. So this is the first. Then we've all seen these. You're gonna get a cookie form. If you've seen these before, it's not different from it's been. There are two parts to it. There is this top part, which is one big long order form. There is the bottom, which you can tear off. So if there are several adults in the family who are helping, your daughter get sales, one of you can bring this bottom slip and one of you can bring the top slip. As far as the cookies go, as far as sales go, everything is the same price as last year. It's $5. The only difference is that instead of Savannah Smiles, they've inexplicably replaced it with another lemon cookie. It looks like this. These are the new lemon cookies. These are lemon ups. And the difference is they're not the thicker ones with the powdered sugar. They look like flat. It looks like it's got some kind of fudge bottom, and it's got inspirational quotes on it and stuff. These are not allergy safe. For those of you who have allergies, just so you know, it contains wheat, soy, and milk, so not an allergy safe option. But this is the new lemon cookie, $5, just like all the other cookies are. And then on the back of this order form, then on the back of this order form is all the rewards. We have to decide as a troop if we want to have rewards or we want to opt out. We'd like to give the girls some say in it. So at the next meeting or a future meeting, we have time before we decide this. We can decide whether they want to get the rewards. If they don't get the rewards, they get an extra, I think it's 5 cents a box. So, you get more money for your troop, but I think the girls like the rewards, so we'll let them decide that. Then everyone's going to get an envelope that you can put all your money in. This and this, I never need to see these. These are entirely for you. This is not something that is sent to me. It's just for you to keep a record of who purchased what, so that when you get your big box, you know who to give to who. Then I made every girl a cookie goal sheet. So basically, this year we're going to ask the girls to each set a goal. Last year we kind of talked about it. I wasn't as diligent with it. But since the girls are getting older and more independent, I really want to try to encourage them to set a goal. So I made up a fake one here, Jane Brownie. What you really need to look at is how you've done the past few years to set a realistic goal for yourself. So I give some suggestions here and I say, how many have you sold in previous years? Do you think you're going to sell close to the same amount? Would you feel safe aiming for a little bit more? I mean, you and your daughter, you know your family, you know everybody's habits, everything changes from year to year. Some years, you have other financial needs. It's harder to get more cookies. It's harder to get this form into work, depending on your work situation. So think about all of these things. So let's say, for instance, this is Jane Brownie. And last year she sold 123 boxes. The year before she sold 86. The year before she sold 146. So she's ranged anywhere from 86 to 146. Since the numbers have gone up and down, I might say you want to choose something safe and in the middle, maybe 100, 110. If the numbers progressively go up, however, then I would suggest that you try to aim to have them sell more boxes. So if it started with like 80, 90, 100, then your goal would be 110. But your child's goal is entirely up to her. I just say that try to make it something in alignment with what they typically sell, something feasible, realistic, but something that would encourage her to work to make more sales. So that's something I'm going to give each of you. And for those of you who are new to the troop, either last year or new to the troop this year, I obviously don't have each of these filled because this is for kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. I've only filled in the information that I got, and I also included our troop average because as a troop, we sold 2,574 boxes last year. So on average, that's 143. Many girls sold within the like 50 to 150 range. Some exceeded that, some did a little less than that. That's typical, so that's another thing to keep in mind. And then you're going to get Cookie Sales basic information with a series of dates and what's going to happen on there. I'm going to go over that in a little more detail in a minute because it's in depth, and then we'll touch base on this in just a moment. I gave you 2 forms that are going to go to me because we're going to be collecting money for sales twice. One is for initial orders. The second is one that I've made that's based exclusively on the initial order form. It's like the same thing, it's just I've made it, and this is for final sales. So basically all you have to do on this is tell me your total number of boxes here. However, I'm going to get back to this in a minute because initial sales gets a little confusing with the different types of sales there are. So hold on to this for 1 minute, and as I go through everything in the basic information form, I will get back to this and explain it in more detail. So those are all the things that you need to have. Let me just, revisit it one more time. Permission slip, order form, the envelope, the goal sheet, the sales information form, and the 2 order forms, the pink and the white. So if you're missing any of those things, let me know and I will make you another copy. So now I'm going to go through this a little bit slowly, and this is just a calendar of all the things that are going to happen, how cookie sales are going to start, and how we go from beginning to end. So sales start December 18th. At some point before then, you're probably going to get an email from the Girl Scouts. If you have a lot of junk mail like I do, just search Girl Scouts in your email application and you should be able to find it. If by December 18th you haven't received an email from the Girl Scouts, reach out to me and I'll see what I can do to find out why you haven't been able to get it and how you can access it. That email is for you to start setting up a website so that starting January 3rd, your Girl Scout can put sales online. Online sales don't start until January 3rd, but the link to set up the online website where you give information about your daughter, her goal, all of that, that's going to come to you probably on or before the 18th. On the 18th, you can start taking in-person orders, meaning you can start taking orders just from people you know, from family members. If you bring this to work with you, you can start taking orders in here. And you can let people know that online orders are going to start on January 3rd if they're interested in buying online. So from December 18th through January 3rd, you can start with in-person orders. Christmas comes, say, hey, everybody, Merry Christmas, buy some cookies. All right. Then starting January 3rd, there's going to be a very short window, which is from January 3rd, Friday, to Sunday, January 19th, in which people can make orders online and pay via credit card, but they can have the orders hand-delivered. The online ordering will continue after January 9th till the end of sales, but once we hit that January 19th mark, the girls can't deliver those boxes in person anymore. all the online orders will either be donations or shipped directly to whoever's purchasing them. So if people prefer to buy online because they like to use their credit card and they like to do all of that, then they only have from January 3rd to January 19th to do it. Because once January 19th starts, all online sales are exclusively ship only and they have to pay shipping costs. A lot of people make great sales during that little window, so I would really try to use that website and let people know. If you put it on Facebook, it's a really easy way to contact people who are further away. I have a lot of family relatives who don't live nearby, who have it shipped to them. I have a lot of relatives who just don't like to handle cash because I don't see them as frequently, so they just make the purchase online, and then I have Maria, and then Maria hand delivers it to them. So that's something to keep in mind. The initial sales is the first set of sales, and historically it's where our troop gets the most money. That will end on January 21st. So, and the girl delivery option, as I said before, ends on January 19th. So all initial order sales have to be into me by January 21st because I have to input it into the online system into eBud by January 25th. So just make sure that your initial your initial sales sheet gets to me, and just like with the permission slip, you don't have to actually physically hand it to me. Last year, a lot of people just sent me pictures, and that's fine too. Whatever is easy, you just fill out that pink form, and you're going to take a picture and send it to me. However, it does get a little complicated just with the initial order, so I want to explain it. The initial order sheet, this thing that you're handing here, includes all boxes that you're going to need. And that's made up of 2 sets of boxes. Number 1, it's made up of any orders that you put on here. And number 2, it's any online orders where they pick the girl delivery option. So any online orders that are not being shipped, that were placed within that January 3rd to January 19th window, online orders that are paid for where the person purchasing had asked the girls to deliver it. So all of those boxes have to be accounted for on this, because this tells me how many boxes our troop needs to order in total. You're only paying me, the troop, you're only paying yourself by check for the orders that came in here, because those online girl delivery orders probably used credit card. So I wrote up a little example so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, a little summary sheet here. This is a very small order. Hopefully we'll get bigger orders than this. But let's suppose that for your initial order, on this form, on the order form, you had 3 Samoas and 2 Thin Mints. So in person, you went to work, 3 people wanted Samoas, 2 people wanted Thin Mints. So you have 5 boxes that were on this order form, let's suppose. And let's suppose that online, somebody selected an in-person order. They bought 4 boxes of Samoas. They paid with credit card, but it's an in-person order, so we have to include those boxes on this pink sheet. So altogether, on the initial order form, on this form here, you would have to include the 3 plus 4, which is 7 Samoas in total, and 2 Thin Mints. So these are all the actual physical boxes you're getting. However, you're only paying for those boxes that were not paid for online already. So the money that you're giving to the troop, that you personally are giving to the troop, is only that money that you're that comes from these paper orders. Okay, so what you would do is you would take cash from whoever's purchasing it, or however you want to handle it. You take cash and you give a check to the troop 3025, that's how you make it out, with the cost of whatever is owed after you remove this here. So basically, the number of boxes you count on this form, the number of boxes you count includes both the order form and the online form with girl delivery, but the amount of money that you're paying is only what's on this order form. And I know this is a little confusing. Any questions you have, I'm going to just keep reiterating that. You just remember that the purpose of this is to tell me how many boxes we need, but you're only paying me for what goes on here, because everything that's in the online order form was already accounted for and paid for online. Okay? As we get closer to initial sale due dates, I'm going to reiterate this and clarify it again, but I just wanted to put that out there in this video. All right. So initial sales will all be made, given to me, and inputted by January 21st. Then they're going to be picked up on Sunday, February 5th. So usually I pick up all the boxes. We sort them here. If anybody's able to help, that's awesome. That'll be great. I usually get pizza or bagels or whatever it is, depending upon the time. And everybody's going to pick up their orders that day. Now, one of the things that has changed is payment is made gradually and it's taken out of the troop bit by bit. So it's very important that all payments are made, and the council has really stressed that nobody should get any cookies without a payment being made. So that day that we have initial orders, Sunday, February 9th, or whenever that week you're able to pick them up, come to the house with your payment. Once we receive your payment, then you will be getting your cookies. A lot of people submitted payment early last year. It just creates a little bit of confusion. So I'm going to ask that you just hand in the order form first. You wait until initial sales sort is done. Then you hand in your check, and then you'll be done with that. From February on, we have 2 booths scheduled. We have February 23rd, which is a Sunday, and we have March 14th, which is a Saturday. So we have Sunday and Saturday accounted for. Ideally, we'd like everybody to make it. I know that's borderline impossible. That's why I didn't even throw dates around this time. But I figured if we have one Saturday and one Sunday, then there's some flexibility in that. If it turns out that there's a day where there's something going on I didn't know about, because I know a lot of girls have a lot of similar events and functions and after-school activity, like extracurriculars. If there's some big soccer thing or taekwondo thing or something, I booked early enough that I think I'll be able to switch it. So please let me know if any of those dates is majorly problematic. I don't have times committed to yet because the gentleman who set everything up said that he only does 1 troop a day and we can come anytime we want. So as we get closer to those dates, I'm going to ask everybody if you'd prefer an earlier window, a later window. We'll finalize that later, but I just wanted to give you those dates in your calendar. That's February 23rd, and March 14th. Final cookie orders are due on March 24th. And cookie sales end on March 29th. Everybody's final boxes should come to you April. Okay, and then on the back, I just have some basic information, stuff that I've picked up after doing this for the last few years, just to keep in mind. As you conduct sales, make sure that you collect cash, because what's happened in the past is people said, oh, hook me up with these boxes, whatever. They don't give cash. The person's short, they have to spot it. So make sure that whoever you're getting sales from is able to give you cash, and you're never in a situation where you're short and you have to lay out like hundreds of dollars worth of cookies. We don't want anyone in that situation, because it's best to give a check. We have collected cash before if it's really essential, but checks are just the easiest to work with. And you know, if anything, nothing has ever gotten lost as far as checks go, but God forbid anything happens, anything gets lost, a check is retrievable, cash is gone. So I really suggest giving final payment with a check. If you want to pay with credit card, again, that's the girl delivery option is the best way of doing that. We're going to see about using credit cards at booth this year. I have to figure out how to do that. So that's something we're going to work on. But I would highly recommend that you not buy boxes for your girls at booth, because the girls share the credit for the boxes at booth. If you buy a box from your daughter at booth, it's one among many that the girls split evenly. And you want to make sure that your Girl Scout gets credit for all the boxes she sells. So just avoid that. One thing that's very important, and this happened the first year, but we never had this issue again, do not transfer boxes of cookies within our troop, because what happens then is there's a double sale. So let's say, for instance, you bought a bunch of cookies, and you bought extra just in case anybody in your family wanted them. You have a couple of s'mores. Let's say that, I don't know, Gigi or Lola or somebody said, oh, we need s'mores, does anybody have them? If you already counted that s'more as your Girl Scout sale and then you hand it to somebody else, they then can't take credit for that sale because it was originally yours. We can't double credit one sale. So there's no transfer of there's not going to be any transfer of boxes between girls in the troop, because then it becomes confusing regarding who gets credit for that sale. And the council is diligent with making sure that the number of sales we have matches the number of boxes that we sold. I always order a bunch of extra for initial sales in case anybody realizes at the last minute, oh gee, I forgot this. I'm able to transfer credits myself at the end, so it's always a good idea. If you forgot something, let me know, and I'll transfer myself from Maria to you. And then eventually, if nobody needs them, then Maria will get those sales. But I always like to order a few extra. It just saves trouble. All right, and just finally, for clarification purposes, there are 3 types of sales for you to keep in mind. One, as I said, again, paper ordering, super simple. Just bring this paper around, you ask everybody what they want, you collect cash, you're done. Second, as I said, is the online girl delivery option. On the back of here, that's an error. It says January 21st. Refer to the front. That was from last year. That should be the 19th. So that is when the customer pays online. You include these boxes in the count on your online order, but you are not paying for them because they're already paid for. And the final is the online delivery option, where customers order online and they have cookies shipped to them. You don't have to do anything with that. If somebody orders online, they live in another state, they order had it shipped to them, it's all done. It's all accounted for. eBud automatically credits you for those sales, so that doesn't have to be recorded in anything you submit to me. The only thing you submit to me is anything that I have to place, because we have to retrieve the actual physical boxes. So that's pretty much it. So just to summarize, this is already 21 minutes long, so if you sat through all of this, good for you. So just to summarize pretty much everything, just make sure that your account, you're keeping track of all your sales. When people place orders online, start tallying. As you notice that people start to order things online, start to make a tally. Sometimes what I like to do is, what I did last year is this bottom one was what I used for the online sales. So that way any online orders were here and all of the paper pencil orders were here, and that helped me to differentiate between what was paid for and what was not. So that's another thing for you to keep in mind. Also, final thing, we're really trying to push our girls to be more independent. They're getting older. So it might be a good idea to try to have them call the relatives themselves. Because I know when we started, I would call everybody and say, Maria's selling Girl Scout cookies. Do you want to buy some? Now she's old enough, if she wants to ask her grandmother or great-grandmother to do that, I want to try to get her to do it. And a few of you have done great things, like have the girls write little thank yous and everything, set goals on their own, like don't try to push a number at them, try to work together to get them thinking of a number, all these kinds of things, making change, all of that. So have fun. If you have questions, I'm around. It's my 4th year doing this, so I feel like I got it down to a system now. And do not sell before December 18th. Other troops have gotten in trouble for doing this. Don't do it. Wait until December 18th, and then you could start making sales. Good luck to everybody. I'll be around for questions if anybody has any. I'll give you guys your packets this week, and anything missing, any confusion, any questions, you can call me, you can write me, you can text me. I'm around. Okay, guys. Good luck to everybody.